All right, so welcome to another deep dive. We're going to be taking a look at a guide that you've shared with us.
Okay.
And this is the Financial Freeway DIY ebook Part 2 from Angel Debt Solutions, LLC.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like you're really looking to take charge of your credit and make a brighter financial future.
Yeah, and it's really great that you are taking that proactive approach. This guide lays out a really specific path
Oh, okay.
to improve your credit score. But just like any DIY project, it's important to understand those steps involved.
Right.
And to make sure you're using the right tools.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So let's start with the guide's first recommendation.
Okay.
It's gathering your credit reports from all 4 bureaus.
Okay.
Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, and Check Systems.
Wow.
It's like taking a financial inventory before you even start making changes.
Exactly. Yeah, you need a clear picture of what you're working with.
Oh.
And once you have all of those reports, the guide suggests hitting the freeze button. Yeah, this prevents any new updates or verifications while you're in the process of disputing existing information.
Interesting. So it's like putting a temporary shield around your credit while you're working on improvements.
Exactly.
But wouldn't that make it harder to get new credit
It could, yeah.
if I needed it?
Freezing your credit is a really strategic move,
Yeah.
but it does come with some trade-offs.
Right.
It's best used when you're actively disputing inaccuracies,
Okay.
and you want to prevent any further damage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the guide also emphasizes the importance of updating your personal information with each bureau.
Okay.
Addresses, phone numbers, emails, all that good stuff.
Yeah. That seems pretty straightforward. Why is that such a big deal?
Accuracy is key when it comes to your credit score.
Gotcha.
Even seemingly minor discrepancies can really impact your score negatively.
Okay.
And lenders use this information to verify your identity
Okay.
and to assess your stability.
Okay, I'm starting to see how all these pieces kind of fit together, but now we're getting to a part that raised my eyebrows a little bit.
What's that?
The guide instructs you to file an FTC identity theft report
Okay.
to use as leverage in disputes,
Uh-huh.
even if you haven't actually experienced identity theft.
Right.
That seems a little aggressive, don't you think?
It's definitely a tactic that requires some careful consideration.
Okay.
While it might be effective in some cases, you're essentially claiming to be a victim of a crime that didn't occur.
Right.
So it's really important to weigh the potential benefits against the ethical implications.
Yeah, good point. So proceed with caution on that one, listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the guide provides a whole checklist of supporting documents to gather,
Okay.
like a photo of your ID, your
Mhm.
social security card, utility bills, a pay stub. It's like packing a suitcase for a credit repair trip.
Right.
What's the reasoning behind all this documentation?
Well, these documents serve as proof of your identity,
Okay.
your residence, and your income,
Right.
which are all factors that lenders consider when evaluating your creditworthiness.
Right.
They back up your dispute claims and make your case a lot stronger.
Okay, so it's like building a solid foundation for your credit repair efforts.
Yes.
But what happens if you hit a roadblock? Let's say you dispute something, but the bureau insists it's accurate.
Mm-hmm.
The guide offers 2 different dispute letters for these situations.
Okay.
A method of verification letter
Right.
and a request for reinvestigation letter.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds pretty official.
It is, each letter has a specific purpose.
Okay.
The method of verification letter challenges how the Bureau verified the disputed item,
Right.
while the request for reinvestigation is used when a previously removed item reappears on your report.
Okay, so you're essentially asking for a second opinion.
That's right.
So it's all about being persistent and knowing the right tools to use at each stage.
Yes.
And get this, the guide is super specific about how you send these disputes.
Uh-huh.
Certified mail with return receipts. Separate envelopes for each bureau.
Wow.
Copies of all documents. They really want you to cover all your bases.
Absolutely. They're emphasizing the importance of documentation and tracking.
Right.
Certified mail provides proof of submission and delivery,
Right.
ensuring your disputes are acknowledged and processed.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it as creating a paper trail to protect yourself.
Right. Because in the world of credit, documentation is everything.
Yes.
But for those who prefer a more digital approach,
Mm-hmm.
the guide also mentions filing disputes through the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's website,
Okay.
the CFPB.
Right, that's right. This online option streamlines the dispute process
Okay.
and can potentially lead to a faster resolution.
Mm-hmm.
The CFPB is a valuable resource for consumers,
Right.
advocating for fair and transparent credit practices.
And the guide even provides step-by-step instructions for navigating the CFPB website,
Right.
selecting the right complaint categories,
Yeah.
crafting a clear and compelling statement.
Mm-hmm.
attaching your supporting documents,
Right.
and targeting each bureau individually.
It's about utilizing all available avenues for credit repair.
Okay.
Combining mailed disputes with CFPB complaints can really maximize your chances of success in getting inaccuracies removed from your report.
So it sounds like this guide provides a really comprehensive roadmap for cleaning up your credit report.
Yeah.
But it definitely leans towards a more aggressive approach.
It does. And while it dives deep into the details of disputing negative entries,
Right.
it's important to remember that credit repair isn't just about removing the bad stuff.
Okay.
It's also about building positive credit habits.
Hey, hold on. So you're saying even if I manage to clear all the negative entries, I still have work to do?
Exactly. Cleaning up your report is just one lane on the highway to good credit.
Oh, okay.
Building positive credit is equally important
Okay.
for a smooth journey towards financial freedom.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. So how does one go about building positive credit while simultaneously trying to repair negative entries?
Right.
It sounds like trying to drive forward while also fixing a flat tire.
It might seem that way,
Yeah.
but both can be done simultaneously.
Oh.
And we'll explore exactly how to do that in the next part of our deep dive.
Oh, great.
So stay tuned.
All right. Looking forward to it. All right, we're back, and this time we're talking about building positive credit
Okay.
while you're also working on cleaning up your report.
Yes.
So it sounds a little bit like juggling chainsaws, but I'm all ears.
It's definitely a balancing act,
Okay.
but it's absolutely doable.
Okay.
Think of it this way. You're creating a positive credit history to offset any lingering negative marks. It's like adding some shine to your financial vehicle.
So where do we even begin? What are the first steps to building this positive credit
Well,
while tackling the negatives?
one of the most effective tools, especially if you're starting with limited or damaged credit, is a secured credit card.
Okay, a secured credit card.
Yes.
That sounds intense.
Okay.
Is it like a credit card with extra security features or something?
Not quite. It's more about security for the lender.
Okay.
So you make a deposit up front,
Okay.
which typically becomes your credit limit.
Gotcha.
And this minimizes the lender's risk, making it easier to get approved even if your credit history isn't stellar.
Ah, so it's like putting down a deposit on good credit behavior.
Exactly. And as you use the card responsibly, making purchases and paying your bills on time, you demonstrate to lenders that you can handle credit responsibly.
Right.
And this positive payment history gets reported to the credit bureaus,
Okay.
helping you build a better score.
So it's like practicing good credit habits in a safe environment.
Yes.
Are there any other ways to build positive credit,
Absolutely.
especially if I'm still working on repairing negative entries?
Becoming an authorized user on someone else's credit card is another option.
Wait, so I can borrow someone else's good credit?
Oh,
That sounds too good to be true.
not exactly borrowing. You'd still be responsible for your charges on the card.
Right.
And the primary cardholder's behavior still impacts your credit.
Okay.
However, if they have excellent credit habits, being an authorized user allows you to benefit from their positive payment history,
Okay.
potentially boosting your own score.
So it's more like learning from someone with good credit habits, not stealing their credit score.
Right.
Makes sense, but the guide focuses mainly on disputing negative items. And it doesn't really mention much about these positive credit building steps, does it?
That's a key point. The guide gives you a good toolbox for tackling those negative entries.
Okay.
But building good credit is equally important.
Right.
It's about showing lenders that you're a responsible borrower.
It sounds like cleaning up your credit report is like taking out the trash,
Okay.
while building positive credit is like adding some beautiful landscaping
Yeah.
to your financial house.
I love that analogy.
Both are important for creating a great overall picture.
It's about showcasing your financial responsibility.
Right.
And speaking of showcasing,
Yeah.
let's touch on something else the guide doesn't mention.
Okay.
Loans.
Loans. I thought we were trying to get OUT of debt, not into it.
That's a common misconception.
Okay.
Certain types of loans, like installment loans, think personal loans or auto loans,
Okay.
can actually be beneficial for your credit score.
Really? How does that work?
Well, these loans demonstrate your ability to manage larger sums of money
Okay.
and make consistent payments over time.
Right.
It shows lenders that you're capable of handling more significant financial responsibility.
Okay, so it's like leveling up in the credit world.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see the bigger picture here, but I'm curious, what about those alternative credit scoring models we hear about?
Right.
The ones that claim to be fairer or more inclusive?
Yeah.
Do those play a role in this credit repair journey?
They absolutely can.
Okay.
These alternative models often consider factors beyond traditional credit data, such as rental payments, utility bills, and even your banking history.
Wow, okay.
They aim to create a more holistic view of your financial responsibility.
So it's like they're looking at your entire financial picture, not just focusing on one small piece of it.
Exactly. And while they might not yet be universally accepted by all lenders,
Okay.
they offer another way to demonstrate your creditworthiness,
Right.
particularly if you're rebuilding your credit or have limited traditional credit history.
That's great news for people who might have been unfairly penalized by the traditional credit scoring system.
Yes.
But it sounds like there's a lot to keep up with in this world of credit.
It's true. The credit landscape is constantly evolving.
Right.
New models emerge, regulations change, and lenders adapt their practices. Staying informed and educated is crucial.
It's like driving on a highway with constantly changing traffic patterns.
Right.
You got to stay alert and adjust your course as needed.
Exactly.
So we've covered a ton of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
From disputing errors to building positive credit and even exploring these alternative scoring models.
Yes.
It's a lot to process. Where can someone go to learn more?
That's a great question.
And continue this journey of credit improvement?
One great starting point is reputable credit counseling agencies.
Okay.
They offer personalized guidance and support, helping you understand your credit report,
Okay.
create a budget, and develop a plan to achieve your financial goals.
So they're like personalized GPS systems for your credit journey.
Exactly. And don't forget about the CFPB,
Right.
the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau we discussed earlier. Their website has a treasure trove of educational materials on everything from credit reports and scores to managing debt and avoiding scams.
Right, because not all information on the internet is created equal.
That's right.
It's crucial to get your information from reliable sources.
Yes.
What about books or podcasts? Are there any you recommend?
Of course, there are countless books and podcasts dedicated to personal finance and credit management.
Okay.
I always recommend looking for resources that offer practical advice, clear explanations, and actionable steps you can implement right away.
And remember, listener reviews and ratings can be your friend.
Yes.
See what others are saying before diving into any book or subscribing to a podcast.
Right.
You want to make sure the information aligns with your needs and goals.
Absolutely. And don't hesitate to reach out to those credit counseling agencies.
Okay.
Explore those educational materials and connect with communities of people on similar credit improvement journeys.
It's like finding your pit crew on this financial freeway.
Exactly.
You don't have to navigate this alone, but even with all the resources and support available, I think the biggest takeaway from our deep dive is that true credit improvement requires a shift in mindset.
Couldn't agree more. It's about moving from a place of feeling overwhelmed or powerless to a place of proactive empowerment.
Right.
So it's realizing that you have the ability to change your financial future one step at a time.
Yeah, it is. It's really empowering to realize that we actually have more control over our financial futures than we might think.
Right.
We've been talking about all these tangible steps, like disputing errors and building positive credit.
Yes.
But you're right, the mindset piece is huge.
It is. It's about shifting from a place of fear or avoidance to a place of action and ownership.
Right.
Instead of feeling like you're stuck in a financial rut, you can start to see those possibilities for growth and change.
Yeah, it's like finally grabbing the steering wheel and charting your own course on that financial freeway.
Exactly.
But I imagine it can still feel overwhelming.
Right.
Where do you even begin to put all this knowledge into practice?
Oh, you're absolutely right. It's a journey, not a quick fix.
Okay.
And remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
What works for one person might not work for another.
Right.
The key is to find what works best for your individual circumstances and your financial goals.
So it's about being patient, persistent, and adaptable along the way.
Exactly. And remember those resources that we've talked about.
Yeah.
The credit counseling agencies, the educational materials from the CFPB, books, podcasts. They're all there to support you on this journey.
Right.
Don't be afraid to reach out for help or guidance when you need it.
It's like having a pit crew on standby, ready to help you fine-tune your financial engine.
Yes.
And keep you moving forward.
That's a great analogy. And remember, you're not alone on this road. There are countless others who are also working to improve their credit and achieve their financial goals.
Right.
Connect with them, share experiences, and learn from each other.
Yeah. Building a community of support is so crucial,
Absolutely.
especially when dealing with something as personal and sometimes as frustrating as credit.
Yes.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
From dissecting those strategies in that DIY guide
Right.
to exploring the broader concepts of credit building and financial empowerment.
Yes.
So as we wrap up, what's the one key message you want to leave our listeners with today?
I would say knowledge is power.
Okay.
The more you understand about how credit works, the more equipped you'll be to make those informed decisions. And take control of your financial well-being.
Right.
It's a journey that requires effort and commitment, but the rewards are well worth it.
So listener, as you continue on your credit cleaning journey, remember to embrace the power of knowledge.
Yes.
Leverage those valuable resources and never underestimate the importance of a positive and proactive mindset.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving towards that brighter financial future. You got this.
That's it for our deep dive today, listener. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring. Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at some stuff that can be kind of a pain to deal with.
Yeah.
But we've got you covered. We're doing a deep dive today on disputing credit report errors.
That's right.
And we've got some great templates and guides here to help us break this all down.
Yeah, these are really useful.
Yeah. So we know that a lot of you out there are probably dealing with some inaccuracies.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
On your credit report, maybe even some potential fraud.
Absolutely.
And that can be incredibly stressful.
Yeah, no doubt.
So we're here to help you figure out how to use these legal documents to fight back.
That's the goal. It's like having a secret weapon,
Oh, I like that.
to push back against these credit bureaus
Yeah.
and say, hey, you know what? That's not right. You got to fix it.
Love it. So we have a few different templates: a fraud dispute letter,
Right.
a personal statement for the CFPB, request for reinvestigation, even an affidavit.
Yeah, so you've got a lot of options depending on what kind of situation you're in.
Right. They all sound pretty serious, though.
Yeah, they're legal documents.
Yeah.
So you want to take them seriously.
Right. So which one would I use if, let's say, somebody opened up a credit card in my name?
Oh, that's a classic case of identity theft.
Right.
And for that, you would definitely want to use the fraud dispute letter.
Okay.
It's designed to hit the credit bureaus with the hard facts immediately.
Gotcha.
And basically saying, hey, this account isn't mine.
Right.
I didn't open it.
Yep.
You need to remove it.
Okay.
And you need to remove it fast.
Okay. So straight to the point.
Exactly.
No messing around.
Yeah.
I noticed that some of the language in these templates is very strong.
Right.
Like, remove these accounts immediately, or I demand.
Mhm.
Should I really be that aggressive?
Oh, it's a balancing act.
Okay.
You want to show them you're serious.
All right. Right.
But you also need to be professional and stick to the facts. It's kind of like
Okay.
if you're a detective
Right.
presenting a case,
Right.
you wouldn't just yell, you're a liar
Yeah.
at the suspect.
Right.
You would lay out the evidence
Right.
in a clear and logical way.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So less Law and Order and more Sherlock Holmes.
Exactly.
Okay. Got it. Speaking of evidence, though,
Yeah.
what kind of proof do I need to back up my claims?
Well, that's where the details in these templates really come in.
Okay.
They walk you through it. So, for example, with that fraudulent credit card,
Right.
you would include a copy of the police report you filed, a statement from your bank showing you didn't authorize the charges,
Gotcha.
and maybe even a copy of your driver's license just to prove your identity.
Really building a case here.
Exactly.
Okay. And I see these templates mention the FCRA a lot.
Yes.
What's the deal with that?
The FCRA, or the Fair Credit Reporting Act,
Right.
is your best friend in this situation.
Okay.
So it's a federal law that basically lays down the rules for how these credit bureaus can collect and use and share your credit information.
Okay.
But most importantly, it gives you the right to dispute any inaccuracies you find.
Oh, that's good.
So think of it like your shield and your sword all in one.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just a suggestion that they be accurate. It's actually the law.
Exactly.
Interesting. I also noticed that the templates emphasize speed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, getting that fraudulent information removed within 4 business days?
Right.
Is that really possible?
Absolutely. That's one of the key protections that the FCRA provides.
Yeah.
Credit bureaus have to act quickly,
Gotcha.
especially when it comes to identity theft.
Right.
They can't just drag their feet while your credit score is tanking because of something that wasn't even your fault.
Right.
Yeah.
That's reassuring.
It is.
It makes you feel like you actually have some power in this situation.
Absolutely you do. You have rights under the law.
Right. And it looks like these templates cover a pretty wide range of issues.
Yeah.
Disputed accounts,
Right.
inquiries, correcting your social security number even. Is there anything they don't cover?
Well, you'd be surprised. They're pretty comprehensive. But, they are focused on factual inaccuracies.
Yeah.
They're not for, complaining about high interest rates.
Right.
Or arguing with a creditor about a bill you think is wrong.
Okay.
Those are different battles.
Right. Different tools for those.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So stay focused. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate here a little bit.
Okay.
Let's say I'm really frustrated. I want to make sure these credit bureaus understand just how much this is impacting my life.
Right.
Should I pour my heart out in these letters? Tell them how I can't buy a car or get a loan because of these errors?
That's tempting.
But
Resist the urge. Remember, we're going for that detective vibe.
okay.
Facts and evidence are your allies here.
All right.
Emotions, while they're understandable,
Yeah.
won't win your case.
Okay.
You got to stick to the facts and let the evidence speak for itself.
So leave the drama at the door.
Exactly.
No tear-stained letters.
But speaking of details.
There's a mention of Metro2 guidelines in one of the templates.
Oh, yes.
What's that all about?
The Metro2 guidelines. These are kind of like the secret handshake of the credit reporting industry.
Oh, okay.
They dictate how credit information is formatted and transmitted
Interesting.
between creditors and the bureaus.
Okay.
So if something doesn't meet these standards,
Right.
it could mean the information on your report is inaccurate or incomplete.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So dropping that phrase in there is kind of like saying, hey, I know the rules.
Right.
And you're not playing by them.
Exactly.
Smart move.
It is. It's like you're speaking their language.
Yeah.
Showing them you're not just complaining randomly.
Right.
You understand how this whole system is supposed to work.
Okay. So I've got my evidence. I filled out the templates. I'm feeling pretty confident.
Yeah.
What happens next? Do I just mail these letters off?
Yeah.
And then wait for the credit bureaus to roll out the red carpet and fix everything?
I wish it was that easy.
Right.
It's more like a chess match.
Yeah.
You've made your opening move.
Uh-huh.
Now you got to stay engaged and see how they respond.
Okay. So what kind of response am I looking for here?
Yeah.
Do they send me a formal letter admitting their mistake and promising to fix everything?
It would be nice.
Right.
But the reality is they'll probably just send an acknowledgement that they've received your dispute
Okay.
and that they're investigating it.
Okay.
The FCRA gives them 30 days to look into things.
30 days.
Yeah.
That feels like forever when you're dealing with something as important as your credit report.
I know it can feel that way. But the good news is you're not just sitting around twiddling your thumbs.
Okay. So
You can and should be proactive during this waiting period.
what can I do to keep things moving? Should I be calling them every day, demanding updates?
While daily calls might not be the most effective strategy,
Okay.
staying organized and keeping a detailed record of all your communication is key.
Okay.
So make sure you have copies of everything you sent, the dates you sent them,
Yeah.
and keep track of any correspondence you receive back.
So it's like building a paper trail,
Exactly.
just in case things get messy.
Yeah.
But what happens after those 30 days? What if they come back and say, nope, we investigated and everything's accurate,
Right.
even though I know it's not?
Well, that's where things can get a bit trickier, but you have options.
Okay.
The templates mentioned a couple of avenues for escalating your dispute if you're not satisfied with that initial outcome.
Okay.
One is filing a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau,
Oh, the CFPB?
or the CFPB. Yep.
I've heard of them. They're like the consumer superhero.
That's a pretty good analogy.
Right.
They're a federal agency that's specifically tasked with protecting consumers
Okay.
from unfair or deceptive or abusive practices
Right.
in the financial world, and credit reporting definitely falls under their jurisdiction.
Okay. So if the credit bureau is playing hardball,
Yeah,
I can bring in the big guns.
exactly.
Yeah.
Filing a complaint with the CFPB is basically saying, hey, this company isn't playing fair, and I need you to intervene.
Okay.
The CFPB has the power to investigate these complaints,
Right.
enforce regulations, and even take legal action against companies that violate consumer rights.
That's pretty powerful. Makes me feel like I have superpowers myself.
You do?
But what about those other legal actions mentioned in the templates, like small claims court? When would that become necessary?
A small claims court is typically a last resort,
Okay.
and honestly, most credit report disputes don't end up there.
Right.
But it is an option if the credit bureaus absolutely refuse to correct inaccurate information,
Gotcha.
even after you've provided mountains of evidence.
Okay, so it's good to know it's there, but hopefully we won't have to go down that road.
Hopefully not.
Sounds like navigating this whole process requires a mix of patience,
Yeah.
persistence, and knowing when to escalate things.
You got it. It can feel like a bit of a maze.
Right.
But remember, you're not alone in this. These templates are your guide. The FCRA is your shield.
Right.
And if you need to bring in reinforcements, the CFPB is just a phone call away.
It's empowering to know that we actually have tools and resources to fight back against these errors.
Absolutely.
It's not just a matter of hoping the credit bureaus will do the right thing.
Right.
We can actually hold them accountable.
You absolutely can. And that's the key takeaway here. You have rights. You have options.
Right.
And you have the power to protect your credit and your financial well-being.
It's like we're taking back control. You know, it's not just letting these errors define our financial future.
Exactly. And speaking of taking control, one of the things that really struck me in these templates was how much they emphasize speed, especially when it comes to dealing with fraud.
Right. Yeah. It almost felt like they were yelling, act fast.
Right.
Time is of the essence. It makes sense that you want to catch it early.
Yeah.
But what's the real impact of dragging your feet?
Well, think of it this way. Imagine a tiny little leak in a pipe.
Yeah.
Ignore it, and it becomes a burst pipe flooding your whole house.
Oh, wow.
Same idea with credit report errors.
Okay.
The longer that inaccurate information stays on your report, the more damage it can do,
Gotcha.
especially with those fraudulent accounts.
Right.
They can spiral out of control so quickly if you don't jump on them.
So it's not just about cleaning up the mess, it's about preventing further damage.
That's exactly right.
Makes you realize how important those 4 business days for removing fraudulent info really are.
Absolutely. You want to shut down those fraudulent accounts before they can rack up more debt in your name,
Right.
damage your credit score even further,
Yeah.
or even lead to more serious forms of identity theft.
It's almost scary when you think about it that way.
It can be.
It's like a race against time to protect your finances.
It is.
These templates give us the tools to fight back, though.
They do.
Yeah.
But you got to use them strategically
Right.
and act decisively. Don't let procrastination or fear hold you back.
So being proactive, knowing my rights, and having a plan of action.
That's the winning formula. Think of these templates like your playbook for navigating the world of credit reporting.
Okay.
You know, they give you the knowledge and the confidence to step onto that field and play the game strategically.
I like it. Okay, so let's recap what we've learned today.
Yeah.
We've got these awesome templates that break down the legal jargon
Right.
and show us exactly how to dispute errors on our credit reports.
Yep.
We've got the FCRA.
The Fair Credit Reporting Act.
That's right. Our legal backup, making sure the credit bureaus play by the rules.
That's right.
And if things get sticky, we can always call in the CFPB
The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
to help us fight for our rights.
Absolutely.
I feel like we've got a whole arsenal now.
We do.
It's not just about fixing the current problems. It's about establishing good habits for the future.
It is. Regularly checking your credit report.
Right.
Staying informed about your rights and acting quickly if you spot any errors. Those are the keys to maintaining control of your credit and your financial future.
Absolutely. And it's empowering to realize that, you know, we're not at the mercy of these big credit bureaus.
Right.
We have the knowledge, the tools, and the right to stand up for ourselves
Me too.
and demand accurate reporting.
That's right. And that's why we do what we do. To give you the information and the confidence you need
Yeah.
to navigate this complex world and take control of your financial destiny.
It's been a pleasure diving deep into this topic today.
It has been.
And to all our listeners out there, remember, you have the power to shape your financial future.
You do.
Don't be afraid to use it.